Hi everyone, it's Amy Parvane from Select Advisors Institute. For today's video, I wanted to show you a few digital business development strategies that you could use very easily, but they are very time consuming, I should warn you, that will keep you abreast of news on M&A, on who's making wealth, and what your prospects are up to so that you could have a better chance of getting in front of them. So let's get started. One of my favorite parts of the internet is Google Alerts if I'm doing business development. So easily go into alerts.google.com. Now here, this is where it's science and art because the keywords that you use are extremely important in what kind of news comes back to you. What I like to do is create a news folder on my Outlook or on my email service provider so that all this news will flow into that for days when I feel like I have time for business development or when I feel like I've run out of names. So the first place I like to start on Google Alerts is to first start building alerts around my clients. This will help make sure that I'm on top of what community involvements they're having, what fundraisers they're going to, so that I could ask about those and I could make sure I find out if they've actually met someone there or if they know someone within a specific board or foundation. So this is a great place. I also like to build that Google alert around my prospects. One of the main things I want you to make sure is to put dashes and quotation marks around the name. So for example, if you're doing Bill Gates, it may give you all the news around Bill went to start his own Gates company. You want to make sure you create a lot of quotation marks and even go deeper so you make sure it is the exact Bill Gates that you're trying to find. So Bill Gates, Melinda, donated millions, whatever you want to find out. This is where the art and the science comes in. The more specific you are about and around your Google words, the better results you will get created. One of the words I love to create is acquired million. Idaho or wherever I'm looking, cash. And the reason why I like to write the word cash at the end is so you're not getting this team acquired this player for X million in Idaho. You want to, if you add the word cash, transaction, whatever you feel you would get better results. You could even go as far as adding a year to it. So you could even do 2013 to look back at M&A news that happened. And this is a great place to find out news immediately, but also news from the past, so that when you do have that time for business development, you could look at news and look for opportunities where people are actually making new wealth. Finally, I like to put onto Google Alerts fundraiser, raised million charity, I don't know, Idaho. And here, this will allow me to look for, fundraisers and who's gone to them. And when I receive this alert, I look at who the recipients were, who the attendees were. Again, it's giving me lists and lists of names that I could actually use for looking deeper into. Another thing I like to do is if I'm within a specific industry, if I have a lot of clients that are, let's say, in the real estate development industry or construction industry, I like to make sure that I am not only up to speed on all the newspapers and publications. So I would say go into all of these and make sure you are signing up for alerts. Look, they're obviously all looking for new people to visit their website, and what better way of being alert and abreast of the news, especially if you have clients in that specific industry. You could ask about that from them. You could say, hey, I read about this new company that's come about and a lot of construction companies are using it. What do you know about them? And then you could actually reach out to that participant or the CEO and introduce yourself. This is a great way of getting ahead of a company being bought out because you are very prepared for who are some up and coming companies. Finally, another area I like to follow is to look at who's wealthy, but who they are surrounded by. Well, for example, we all know Bill Gates, we all know Mark Zuckerberg, but who are their friends? Who are they circling themselves around? And those people are usually under the radar, but more receptive to you reaching out to them. So let's just say, as an example, you look at the Forbes 400 list. I'm looking here at one of the lists, and let's say you go after this guy, Len. So I look up him. And where I go is I go into Google Images. So I put in his name and then I go to Images. And if you just look down, you'll see all these pictures of people that maybe don't look familiar to you. And guess what? That's perfect because those are the kind of people you want, the ones that are under the radar. So you could read into them, see who they are, and then who they're surrounded by. And slowly, this is peeling the onion on who's who in their community. And if you are very lucky, you could actually find out that one of them may be very closely connected to you. Like I said, this is a time consuming project, but if business development is one of your goals, this is one of the best ways of doing research around your industry and finding names. This is one of the ways that I've always been successful, being aware of my industry and being ahead of news and names. We will go through this slowly if you'd like through our coaching sessions, but I wanted to give you a brief background about it so you can get started on it. Thanks.